record. Here goes the encoder. And ta-da!
Ta-da! We're live. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Tales from the Barside. I'm your host, Remy. This is my good friend and co-host, Lauren. And this is our buddy, Dave. He runs the studio.
Who's the only one that's actually at a bar for Tales from the Bar. I mean, it's my own bar, but yeah.
It's still a bar.
It's always good to see friendly faces, and it's good to hang out with you guys on a Monday night, as we always do. So we got some bad news today for our industry friends, and they're extending our lockdown. No bars and restaurants, just right up until Christmas, a couple days before Christmas. So
yeah, so I'm trying to do the math. So it's a 12-day extension, so it lasts through the 19th, or is it 12 days past original of the 9th?
3 weeks.
So it's the 21st.
Yeah. Either way, what it's doing is it's totally screwing over everybody who was counting on any kind of Christmas money for shopping for their kids. Like, I know a lot of bartenders who are single moms. I know a lot who are family people. And it's not helping. If you're not throwing them any kind of extra money to make up for all the cash that they would have made, it's going to make for a really shitty Christmas around here. And I just, wanted to bring it up because while I understand why we're having shutdowns and lockdowns and why they think bars and restaurants are, super spreader type places, they haven't come up with a contingency plan for all the people that it's affecting. Sorry, you're out of work.
Well, and I don't know if you actually watched it live. I had it on in the background while I was doing other stuff, and the audio was so damn terrible. It was like trying to watch and listen to like an old 70s bad kung fu movie.
Oh, awesome.
Because the audio just kept cutting out.
Yeah.
And you could not hear. Like it was
so
just
you had
terrible.
to kind of figure out what they were saying.
Yeah, and it was so like, but like, and even the closed captions couldn't keep up with it. But no, so I know they said something about they'd worked with the legislature to get, I believe, unemployment benefits extended out through the end of next year for people. Which okay, cool, but without that federal kick-in, that's not really helping people all that much.
Not at all.
I mean, it's better than zero, but
well, the other thing I saw today was that I know that like the extension or whatever, like you have until like this date you can like use it until, but it says that all of us are like losing our benefits as of December 26th as of right now.
So that was that's an estimated timing. I was reading a story about that earlier, because I believe the max extension at the time was 30 something weeks, maybe 33, maybe 39, can't remember which. Mm-hmm. And so what they're basing that off of is people that started filing in March as soon as the first lockdown hit and have continued all the way through it. Then that's the original cutoff date. That would be 39 weeks.
Yeah.
But I believe what she was saying today is that limit is going away.
Okay.
Well,
so
that makes sense.
I have friends who are like on PUA, and when they ran out of weeks, they didn't get an automatic extension. Like the people I know that have UIA, they didn't get an automatic extension. So it's like, what about those people that didn't qualify for UIA? Then are they getting their weeks back? Like, do you get more?
Who knows? I mean, that's the sad reality is who.
Yeah, like we need pandemic relief, not just.
Could you like put this, like just put it on a pamphlet, but like explain it like I'm 5. Like that's right, what I think we all need. We don't need PowerPoint presentations. We don't need 3 different speakers. Just explain it like I'm 5 and then go.
Yeah, right. And then
especially when you're talking about people's lives.
But yeah, that's exactly my point. You got people out here, they didn't make their holiday money through Halloween and Thanksgiving and now Christmas. What are you going to do to take care of them, compensate them? What about people like Lauren who, you were working, making fine money. If it weren't for this pandemic, you'd still be bartending. I still would be too. But you haven't gotten jack shit for unemployment because of the way your pay was set up in the first place. And that's not your fault either.
See, the way my situation was.
But that's the reality of it. And it's like, you can just say, okay, we have to do this emergency measure and keep all these people safe. And I get that. I'm 100% behind that. what are you going to do to take care of the people whose jobs and lives you just, you're basically flushing down the toilet? Like, you don't matter.
Well, and the sad reality is, I mean, what you're hearing and what I'm reading a lot of is that it seems like, and I've said this for months now, bars and restaurants are taking the brunt of what's going on, and they're really, really catching the shit because they have a bad PR problem more than anything else. It's yes, you can say, because between the incubation period of 10 to 14 days, okay, anybody that's going out at all, odds are good that somewhere within a 2-week window they probably stopped by a bar or a restaurant. So like if they're going to go out, they're going to do things, odds are good that was one of their decisions.
Right.
So yes, anybody that pops positive that has been out, odds are good they can then go back and say, yeah, I was at that restaurant, yeah, I was at that bar. But are they going to say, yeah, I was at my buddy's house, yeah, I was at this kind of thing? And so that's why bars and restaurants have a PR problem, because I mean, all the stats that are out there, I believe from all the contact tracing that's happened, not that it's been phenomenal, but it's only something like 4.4% of the cases have traced back to a bar or restaurant exposure.
Right. Exactly. To me, it just makes sense that any place where you're indoors and people are not wearing masks is where it's getting spread. Whether that's you going over to your friend's house with like 5 or 6 people and nobody's wearing masks, or it's at a restaurant, or if it's at church, or I don't care what it is. If there's people congregating in large amounts, or more than 5 or 10 or something like that, it just stands to reason that there's going to be more chance of catching COVID at a place like that. So my solution is to everybody wear a goddamn mask all the goddamn time and see if that fucking helps. Like, I'm talking about, you want to open up your bar or restaurant? Fine. Everybody can come in. They have to wear a mask the entire time. You take it down to take a sip, and you put it back up. You take it down to take a bite of food, and you put it back up. But like, you can still be open, but everybody has to wear a mask 100% of the time. That's, and
no one's going to do that.
And that's
people
the
act like
sad
it's so
reality is,
fucking hard to
no
do.
one's going to do that.
But if you go to the casino, because I stopped by the casino one time after COVID hit, and that's how they did it. It was like they were allowing people in there, and it's it's a big casino and all this money and shit like that. Everybody had a mask on, and you weren't allowed to do anything but pull it down, take a sip, and then put it right back up again. And they had security telling them that. You want to go out, you want to go party and stuff like that. That's how you got to do
Meanwhile, hey, go stand in line with 8 bajillion other people to buy a 3-wick candle for $9, because that's important. Like I said, I mean, that's the PR issue that I think they have, is you have, bars and restaurants are really feeling the heat, but malls and stores and Home Depot and Lowe's and, everywhere, like nobody's, and I guess that's been my whole issue with this since lockdown 1, lockdown 2, electric boogaloo, but ever since the, is that it's selective. It is we're not taking this seriously enough, and it's a half-ass measure trying to get this done. Like, if you're going to have a lockdown, then you have to have a lockdown. Like, it has to be across the board. It has to be, because otherwise, what's the damn point?
Kind of like how it was on the first one. It was like, yeah, there were some places that were still open, but there was like super strict measures. Like, I remember we had to go to like the Ace Hardware to like fix something in my house, a GFI or whatever. We went to Ace Hardware, and it was like, they were like 1 in, 1 out, and you had to stand outside and like wait in a long ass line. And you went in with the intention of buying something in particular, like
not a whole lot of browsing going on.
Yeah, you just go in and look around. Like, no, that's not what's happening. So,
and since then, it seems like they figured some things out. They can do a lot of stores are now equipped to do the doorside pickup and stuff, so you can order your stuff online, drive up, pull into a spot, and somebody brings it right out to you. I've heard good stories about that. People are getting innovative and creative with how to navigate this thing. And again, my point is, I want everybody to stay safe. I want to get this pandemic under control, but it's also not fair to let certain businesses rake in millions and millions and billions of dollars, and others to like lose their ass and starve and fucking be out in the streets.
Well, and that's the other thing that people are, I guess a lot of people aren't paying attention to, is that all of the protections against evictions and that sort of stuff also expire at the end of December. And so that's a heavy duty hardcore thing, because now you've got people that haven't been working. God forbid they lose their place to live on top of that. Because then you're going to have a really, you're going to have a lot of people then going to crash with their friends, going to crash with their families, and now you've got more people packed together, and it's or just being homeless. And what the hell?
That's the middle of winter, you know.
Yeah.
Good luck with that in the northern climes. There's not enough room for everybody to move south. Yeah, it's
Are
a
they
shit
still
show.
allowing evictions right now, or is that's still
No,
on?
but all those protections end at the end of December.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I was like for the
Yeah.
rest of this year, and that's it. Oh man, that's crazy. I wonder like how many people are gonna be out. Like what they think like statistically.
Oh, they're saying, God, what was it? And this was 2 months ago. 40% of the people that report, or whatever, whoever did the reporting on it, they said that basically 40% of people had missed a mortgage or a rent payment across the U.S.
Literally half of us.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, like it takes a lot longer to get you kicked out if it's a foreclosure, but still, I mean, that's something else to keep in mind.
Well, and if, I was talking to somebody about this too, is like, if you are a renter, then you have like your renter's record, right? And if you have previous evictions, then basically you're going to be hard pressed to find a place that's going to rent to you again for the next 7 years. So, it's like all these people that are facing eviction, even if you're like super far behind, like even just because they can't evict you right now doesn't mean that they're not going to like do that as quick as possible. As soon as the first hits, because they're going to get rid of you and try and fill it with somebody else who wants to live there,
Yeah, it's not good. So this is not the fucking jolly holiday special that we would like to have brought you guys. It's
no
so funny
claymation puppets, no.
It's funny how, Lauren and I just met like a little over a year ago, and we were both in the industry and kicking ass and having fun and taking names and like telling current stories about what was going on in our bar. Like we used to start the show every week with like, how was your week?
What was the weekend? Yeah, what was the weekend like?
Yeah, you won't believe the shit that went down this weekend. Yeah.
And here we are, a year later, talking about this pandemic still that's not quite shut down the right way. And, a bunch of people are scared to end up like old Jack here behind me, fucking frozen outside, drunk off of fucking sorrow and tears. But, people are getting creative too. People are figuring out ways to do little side hustles and we joke about OnlyFans a lot, but hey, I mean, it's like you can go out there and help your friends out if you're not in our industry, but you like our show and you know some people that are struggling right now. Have a little Christmas cheer. I just watched Muppet Christmas Carol last night too, so that's got me feeling all kinds.
I've been watching a bunch of Christmas movies.
But I mean, specifically that one, Michael Caine as fucking Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh yeah.
Like, Tiny Tim, please.
That was my very first acting role.
Tim. Not Tiny Tim.
My very first role in the 8th grade, I was Ebenezer Scrooge.
Were you really? That is excellent. Do you want to know what my 8th grade starring role was? I was Huck Finn in Tom Sawyer. So I was the sidekick in that one. It wasn't my tail. I was just a partial role, but it was fun. And then I got to play the quintessential black guy in the melodrama, the dark haired, dark wearing, long black mustache, like evil fucking villain in the melodrama play. And I come and steal the farmer's daughter away, and I've got a city slicker girlfriend. It was like, oh man,
train tracks or what?
I swear I was typecast in that role. Like, I was just born this way. I can't help it. It was great.
I was an orphan in Annie in like my 6th grade or something.
Like orphan number 7.
It was Kate's.
Kate, well, you had a name. That's good. You have a speaking role. You had some lines, I'm sure.
I had like 2 lines, yeah, and then a bunch of songs that we sang with Annie.
So I got a solo in the melodrama. I had a bold bad man I got to sing, and it was pretty. I still remember the lyrics to that a little bit.
I love when that happens.
Cool thing about that was my real life girlfriend in 9th grade played my girlfriend in the play. So
Oh, that's
that was
sassy.
that was good times. Samantha, wherever you are, I miss you, baby.
I miss you, baby.
She was sweet. Yeah, she was sweet. That's a little bit of nostalgia there for you. Good
Are you
stuff.
still friends with her? Do you know?
No, I never looked her up on Facebook or anything like that. I think the last time I saw her, we were both around 21, and she wasn't digging my style anymore. You know, the difference between 14 and 21 is
Oh yeah.
pretty big. You know, we were the first heavy petting sessions, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
It's like now we're all grown up in college. She was like, "Nah, I'm good." So hey, her loss. You know, I hope she had a happy life.
Her loss. You're just like her loss, though.
I'm full of myself tonight. What can I say? Well, you know, it's like we had to talk about it because it's what's prevalent in our society. It's what's going on right now. And again, I go on my Facebook feed and I see just like death and destruction and despair, and all my friends from the industry are just like struggling. I'm like, we have to acknowledge it. We got to bring it up, and we got to figure out a way to kind of get past it.
I am really starting to get concerned about like the small businesses and stuff, like everyone that's trying to shut down permanently, and oh my God, it's so stressful for everyone.
Well, as of, I think that it was August, we talked about this. In August, 60% of businesses that were closed reported that they were permanently closed.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. You shut the doors because you run out of money and you can't operate. It's hard to like start back up again.
I guess, you know, sort of shameless plug, you know, little aside. So John, one of the owners from Detroit Shipping Company, is on with us on IT and the D tonight. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about is, you know, the struggles that, you know, they've had. I mean, let's be honest. That is a bar nightlife crowded venue when this isn't happening.
Right.
And so they've had to re-engineer everything a couple of different times now. You know, just try, you know, but there's no bar nights, there's no DJs, there's no dancing, there's no, you know, any
no
of that
entertainment
stuff. Yeah, it's just crazy.
It's just, I mean, how many of the places inside of it, because it's like set up kind of like a food court.
Yep. So there are 6 restaurants. One of them still has not reopened, but that's because it's Motor. They're based out of Windsor. And so they just can't get across.
Right.
But and even still, like the other, I know 2 of their, like, because they're open Wednesday through Sunday currently. And I think 2 of the restaurants don't open on Wednesday and Thursday. I think they only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's, yeah.
Kind of just like open for 2 places.
But it's, you know, like when we had a whole big conference call a few weeks ago, and basically, I mean, the general consensus from the majority of people was, because I mean, that was one of the questions they asked was, look, do we just shut down again, you know, and wait and see what happens, because they closed for a while too.
Yeah.
You know, and the general consensus was like, look, let's be real. If you close again, you know damn well and good you're not opening again. Like it, I mean, and that's the sad reality for a lot of places, is a lot of places are not going to survive.
And they weren't really struggling when it started. And
no,
it's like,
that place was crank. I mean, it's, you know, like, hey, everybody was making good money. Life was great. You know, the place was packed. It was awesome. And then came COVID.
And again, this
it's just like how much it's depleted people.
Mm-hmm.
This is no fault of their own. They shouldn't be punished for that. And, you know, I think it all comes down to, once everything gets done and COVID isn't as scary anymore and people are allowed to go out and do things, it's going to look different. It's going to look a lot different. We're not going to be able to do things the same way.
No, and I think that's one of the struggles that I've had is trying to get people's head around the fact that what you thought of as normal is not going to come back.
No.
You know, and that I think that, you know, just kind of getting back to, you know, everything's being half-assed and people aren't really taking this seriously enough. I think the sad reality is people keep trying to implement duct tape stopgap solutions, trying to still desperately cling to or get back to quote unquote normal.
Yeah. Even if they can be open for a couple of hours before they get shut down, they want to do it.
Yeah. Which
I knew places that were hoping that we would reopen, and they were going to do like a from midnight to 2 a.m. like you know.
Well, and and the the funny thing or the sad thing, like I know, like they're at every time. So I mean, ever since they've been open, DSC, there's always been at least one visit from somebody from the health department every day that I've been there. Lately, it's been two, maybe three times that they're stopping by. So I mean, they're keeping an eye on crap. Like they're yeah.
But I don't see health inspectors walking through grocery stores all the time. Like, are they as much? Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, our is health inspector like the new great job to have right now because they're so busy? Like, there's plenty of overtime, and you can make lots of money in the healthcare industry by checking up on people. Well, because the way I remember it is like,
do you enjoy being a dirty little rat? You too could have.
Exactly. The health inspector used to come by twice a year at most bars that I worked at.
Yeah, the annual inspection and
Right. If you only come to my bar twice a year, you're hitting all these other places. Like, you're busy all year round, I'm imagining. But to go and hit up all these places 4 and 5 times and a couple of times a day, seems like they're going to need some more manpower for that. So what do we do? So you and I were both out of work since March. I had another job, luckily. You didn't, but you've just been, juggling and going through savings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But tell everybody about your new projects and how you're trying to make a little bit of money, Lauren, because it's almost Christmas time, guys.
I know, yeah, and I think it's actually like super fun. So I have been making what I am calling well-hung holiday ornaments, and they're basically just extremely inappropriate adult themed ornaments.
Oh yeah, dude, I told some friends about it today and they loved the idea. They're like, oh my god, that's hilarious. I think it's great. I think it's funny. And I'm like, well, tell your friends. I know somebody who's got them. So
I did sell one to one of my friends.
My tree needs boobies. That's
a lot more than boobies.
it's honestly one of those things where like, and I'm excited because I've got, I'm going to order a couple from you, but I haven't seen them yet. So I'm excited to see like how you worked it, how like tasteful or raunchy or.
I am sending private messages to people with a video of them if people are interested. I can't post them on Facebook. I did have a friend buy one and she posted a picture of hers and it was like probably the best side to be showing on social media. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And
you don't want to get
and it still
got flagged immediately. So
they're like, that's porn.
Yeah, she was like, I got in a lot of trouble because of that. I was like, sorry, girl. Like
so that's the thing is like you have to advertise any way you can, and word of mouth is probably going to be good and stuff like that. But yeah, anybody who listens to our podcast that wants to help Lauren out and buy some of her crafty naughtiness, I like that. Like naughty crafties. Naughty crafties is pretty good.
I do have buttons and tree toppers that I'm calling porn stars as well. So take a look at my entire inventory. Shoot me a message. I'll send you some pictures and videos, and you can pick out which one you want. I'm taking commissions. You want something more hardcore? I got you.
I'm thinking of all the different roommates that I've had in my adult life and just like bachelor pads that I've stayed at, and I mean like. Yeah, if you had a whole tree decorated with like all these porn stars and that would be something that me and my friends would definitely be into and cool.
Absolutely.
So there is a market for this. Please send them our way. Send them our way. Let's have a
There you go. Actually, so there you go. So you actually just triggered an idea for me. So what you do Lauren, is you sell raffle tickets for like $20 each, which is about the cost of your ornament.
Okay.
Winner, like, so, and then you said it, I mean, obviously time is short. Today's the 7th, so you've only got X number of days, but like, so you forget do the drawing on like the 22nd or 23rd, and the winner gets like one of those little mini, like go Home Depot, those little trees decorated with X number of ornaments.
Oh, I like it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. It's already
That's a great idea.
Your tree has been trimmed, ma'am. Got some trim on the tree. That's another good one. So we can take this, we can go with it. Send us a message, send Tales from the Barside a message, or send Lauren a message. privately. I'm sure, both of you who are watching tonight, they know how to get a hold of you, right?
Lauren loves random dudes showing up in her DMs talking about boobs.
Oh yes, it's perfect.
I bet
I
you
told
Ming
you
would buy
guys how
one,
I
though.
handle unsolicited dick pics.
You
I'm
do,
sure.
which is amazing.
That is well. So for any of our listeners who haven't heard it before, tell the story again, please.
Yeah, I think that I have, but okay. So what happens is like whenever I get unsolicited dick pics, I save it to a folder, okay? And then when someone sends me a new unsolicited dick pic, I send them every unsolicited dick pic I've ever gotten, one at a time, until they block me.
Like I got all day, baby, and plenty.
Sure, like I didn't want to see that, and I'm sure you don't want to see this, so let me just go ahead.
That is absolutely brilliant. I freaking love it. Unsolicited dick pics. I've never even sent a solicited dick pic. Nobody's ever asked to see a picture of my junk. So
It's because no one ever does.
Nobody wants it.
There's not once in the history of time has there ever been a girl just sitting around going, you know what I wish I could get right now? A dick pic. Not once.
Pic, right.
Not once. Never, ever. Never.
Like even if it's really big, even if it's real pretty.
Even if
There is no way that you're gonna send me anything that is gonna look so good that I'm gonna be like, hold on, let me share this with my friends.
Right. Like, girl, look at
Like,
this. Oh
it's
my
a dick.
God. It's a dick.
And they're not that pretty, to be honest.
They're not that pretty, and you're like, I can fucking see a million of them anytime I want. Like, it's not that exciting. I guess guys are more visually stimulated, but guys, first time we see boobs, we're like, oh, boobs. The 9 millionth time
can't say no.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, see, the opposite is not true. Like, there's not a guy on the planet that would be like, oh my, the horror. Some woman sent me a picture of her boob. Oh, I'm shocked and appalled, and I'm gonna send her every boob pic I've ever gotten. And like, no,
that would be pretty sweet.
Way down deep, we're shallow. We're definitely the least advanced of the species. It's a thing.
I think it's the perfect answer though. Like whenever somebody sends you an unsolicited dick pic, you just go into that folder, and I'm like, you want to see? You want to send dicks? I can send dicks for days. I got different colors, different shapes, different sizes.
Yeah, these pictures were given to me. Like I can literally send them.
Raise you, no pun intended. Yeah.
You absolutely have every right to. Like somebody gave me this.
This is my property now.
You got a watermark on your dick pic, like
right? Little logo.
Do not forward. Not allowed to forward. Does not have my permission.
Do not copy.
To forward. This is for your eyes only.
That's so funny. Oh my
god.
This dick pic will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Oh, that's self-destructing dick pic.
Don't they wish?
Now that's an app idea, sir.
It's Snapchat.
Oh yeah.
Snapchat doesn't really delete anything. Let's be clear. That's.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's been true forever.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. I don't have Snapchat. Can't.
I actually only just started using Snapchat because my cousins use it and they have like a group chat that I'm part of now. So it's like always blowing up. And like,
is it fun?
I don't really post anything ever, and I'm sure it is fun. I just don't really post anything ever. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just old. They make fun of me a lot because I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like,
I tried a couple times.
How to use this snapper dizzle? Like,
yeah, no. I tried a couple times. I was like, I do not like it.
But I love TikTok.
Yeah, not
a lot.
Well, because that's people who are like coming up with creative videos, right? There's a lot of creative videos, a lot of funny people out there that are like, I can make something funny with this.
Like, wasn't Trump supposed to have shut that down by now? Like,
that's what I was wondering too. What? Like, wasn't that supposed to be gone already? Like, wasn't there some big thing about how it's like?
Yeah, like someone else was supposed to buy it, or it was going to get blocked. Whatever.
My thing with it was that I heard it was run by this Chinese software firm that was stealing all your info.
Well,
and I'm like, I don't want to.
Completely accurate.
So I was like, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to be part of it. But So I'll see my friends who post their TikTok videos on Facebook, because I'm an old man. That's all I know is Facebook. God damn it. Get off my lawn. Anyways, I'll see a funny video. I'm like, that's pretty funny. Like, this TikTok's got something going on here. I like it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't,
it is funny. And just because you said that, it is funny to think how much Facebook has changed in the last decade.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was
It's like basically I just watch mini videos on it all day.
I keep up with my friends that I haven't seen in a long time. You used to have a
college email address to get onto it.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I still say one of my favorite websites of all time was crap. My dad joined Facebook. And it was just like great screenshots from, like, people would submit stuff, just great screenshots of like awkward moments with their parents on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And now it's like, it's all it's all us. It's all like our age people, like, bitching about conspiracy theories and arguing about vaccines and fake news and bots and
memes.
Yeah.
Memes.
Well, it's like Instagram. Like, dude, Instagram used to be food. Like, that's all Instagram was. Like, it was that was
now it's all memes.
Now it's all like models.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, see, I think that's the problem, is that, like, I'm not using the app, like, every one of my apps. I'm not using it the way I'm supposed to be using it. I'm just like
same.
Memes.
Oh, that's the same.
Like, I'm not trying. I rarely ever take a photo of myself and post it on Facebook. I don't take selfies. I don't really actively, like, check in places or say I'm watching something or I'm reading something. I don't do that. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm like, meme, maybe something funny that I noticed that happened, meme.
Yeah.
Out of my way. I'm here for the memes. But do you create your own memes?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I have my own memes.
Yeah. So there you go. You're all in. I like sharing the funny stuff with my friends that I see on it and laugh. I like getting a laugh, a couple times a day. I smile and laugh. And then the rest of my feed is filled with, like, all my positivity peeps. Like, I'm just in a whole circle of people that are all about love and good vibes and spreading love. And so it's quite a pleasant experience most of the time.
See, okay, it's pleasant for me because I'm part of a bunch of, like, roasting groups and, like, you know what I mean? Like, just people totally roasting each other all the time. And I'm like, that's pretty positive stuff to watch. I like that.
So I guess random aside, speaking of spreading love and positivity, did you catch the story about the swingers convention in New Orleans?
No. What?
And how funny is it that a swingers convention is now a super spreader event?
Oh God.
So yeah, someone hosted a swingers convention in New Orleans about 3 weeks ago now. And they've traced, I think it was 64 cases back to it so far, including 3 people that are tubed in the hospital. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got questions. Okay.
I was gonna say, and Remy, you were just sitting there saying, "Oh, but if everyone would just wear a mask, dude."
All right. People will find a way to get around anything. Damn it.
It's like I was talking. A friend of mine was like, "Oh my god, like a lot of people are suddenly pregnant on my feed, and what the hell?" And I'm like, "Dude, we can't even get people to wear masks. You think they're wearing condoms? Like, what the hell?"
Right. Right. What the hell? Oh my god, that is insane. Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, swingers convention, New Orleans.
It sounds like it was hosted by, like, some of those, like, cootie catcher people that are, like, wanting to get stuff. Like, they get off on, like.
No, apparently it's an actual company that, like, apparently that I guess runs these events nationwide. And they just decided that they'd had enough of not being around their swinger buds, and
gotta be swinging.
And so they picked New Orleans, and things happen in New Orleans. So
super spreading things.
Which the irony of a swingers convention being a super spreader event. I couldn't. Yeah.
I love that. That's intense.
Super spreader.
My inner 11-year-old giggled for a good 2-3 minutes about
it. Me too.
So
that's too much.
I am and I guess just to double back on the whole COVID thing, like, so, and the extension, like, I think one of the things that people may have missed, because I think one of the things that's driving people the most insane here is the continual cycle of last minute updates. Because this was supposed to expire Wednesday. Well, here we are on Monday. Nope, not expiring off. So yeah, whatever plans you had, change them. Whatever, if you thought you were going back to work, no, you're not. If you thought you were reopening your place, no, you're not. And so that's a real struggle. And the thing is that they even said in the Q&A after, that 3 weeks isn't going to be the end of this. Like this, even at that point, even assuming that a miracle happens and rates have gone down and all that kind of stuff. Because God, and I think it's amazing. Everybody loves to mock Detroit. Detroit's sitting at like, I think 7% positivity rates, whereas like Oakland County's at 17, Macomb is at 18, pushing 19. You've got like 1 in 5 people now. And it's just, so even if a miracle happens and all that stuff drops, there's still going to be a phased approach towards reopening when they get to the end of that. So, I mean, the 21st isn't going to be a magical date where shit just reopens at that point. No. And so, yeah.
It's a nightmare, and it's our own damn fault. It's, we're all kind of culpable for it.
Well, okay, I know.
I didn't get it and spread it to anybody, so
right.
I'm not to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, like,
I know that like my friend's cosmetology school is opening, because you're allowed, like, trades and stuff are allowed to open as long as you're performing services like on people, which is like weird to me, because I'm like, if you're increasing this possible exposure and spread, and you can't have in-class learning, so you just want them to go and like work in the salon and possibly like contract this because of all of the like strangers. It's literally to the public, open to the public,
Yeah.
But you can't be in class with the people that you're on the floor with, like I can't be in class with them and be learning something without having the public available. But it's crazy. It's crazy to think that there's places that are going to open. It's crazy to think that even like elementary schools and stuff being open, but I guess their rates aren't as high as like colleges and high schools and whatnot.
Well, and that's one of the weird so that's, in fact, I was just dealing with another school board meeting before I got you guys up and running. The weird thing is, no, like we don't, well, I guess I should say we don't know yet, because I mean, let's be real, like the first thing we did was shut down the schools. And like in my school district, the like K-8 stayed closed as well as high schools. But they've now said they're going to bring K-8 back starting Wednesday, because the health order didn't explicitly prohibit it. Okay, fine.
Exactly.
But the reality is, you're talking about 8 days. Like from just a pure practical, logical perspective, you're talking about increasing the risk exponentially for a grand total of 8 days, because then it's 8 school days, and then they're on Christmas break or winter break, or whatever the hell they call it these days. So for 8 days, just after Thanksgiving, and because like I was listening to Fred earlier, and that was his thing, is like, the spikes we're seeing now are actually from Halloween. We haven't seen the spikes start to hit from Thanksgiving yet. And so for 8 days just after Thanksgiving, with all of that shit going on, you are going to exponentially increase, because that's because what they know is that, okay, yeah, kids generally healthy, and so they're not likely to become super ill from it directly, but they are absolutely carriers and asymptomatic spreaders. And so for those 8 days, you're going to have all those kids back in school, bringing it back home just in time for the holidays, rolling into Christmas, where everybody's going to want to go see grandma and grandpa, and everybody's going to want to see the cousins, and everybody's going to want to see this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's just interesting to know that they're going back to school in literally next Monday. And then it's like, that's not even the 12 days, because I guess after Wednesday or whatever, trade schools and vocational schools and stuff can open again. And it's like, I just don't see how that would be possible. I don't see how that would be logical to open them, you know, to the public like that.
There's not a whole lot of, I'm convinced there's not a whole lot of logic being used. There's a lot of, because every one of these school board meetings that I've sat in on and paid attention to, it is a lot of basically parents that have realized finally what they've gotten themselves into by having children. And so it's a lot of crying, super emotional people that don't know how to deal with their kids. Like they don't know how to, you know, handle them being home. And don't get me wrong. Like I understand there are people with significant challenges, like, you know, stay like single moms, you know, or single dads, whoever, you know, that suddenly have to have their schedules upended because of this nonsense. And they don't work in an industry that allows them to be flexible and that kind of stuff. Absolutely, there are problems. But by and large, the people that I'm hearing whining the most on these meetings, I know for a fact are like stay-at-home suburban wine moms. Like that's
Right.
like what else you got? Like what
You just don't like the fact that the school isn't acting like a babysitter for
a
7
daycare.
hours for
Yep.
you.
And that's the sad reality, is that somewhere along the way,
Yeah.
school became daycare, and that's very, very real.
It's like, sorry you don't like interacting with your kids, and you pay, you know, it's like you send them off to school for somebody else to do it. But
Well, and
I
Well,
can
that's
see
just
people
depressing.
being upset if they like have to, if they can't work because they have to stay home with their kids.
like I said,
absolutely.
absolutely get that. But like my kid said he can't figure this out. I'm like, bitch, your kid plays Fortnite with my kid. And
Right.
I damn well and good, they figured out that entire game in 18 seconds. And what they can't figure out, they watch a goddamn YouTube video to figure out, and they got it figured out in 4 minutes. Your kid figure it out, they're playing you.
Yeah, and you're letting them. And
Right.
They're in a damn piece of technology that my 11-year-old can't figure out. Like he learned very early on that shit wasn't going to fly with me. Because like, Dad, I can't. And I'm like, I looked him dead in the eye and I went, kid, look, I've seen you play Fortnite. I've seen you play everything else. I've watched you on these games. And he's all about TikTok. I'm like, I've watched you figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And no, like you
just don't want to figure it out.
Yeah, you can absolutely figure this out. Go sit
right. That's the thing though, is like the kids will seriously be like, I don't know how to do this. And then like parents will do the entire like, oh, I don't know how to show them how to do it. And it's just like, listen, your kid is telling you that they don't know how to do multiplication. You know how to do multiplication. Like teach your kid how to do something.
It might not be the way that they're trying to teach that, because
it doesn't matter. Do they get to the
exactly.
same?
I had this conversation with
care.
a couple of teachers that I'm friends with. I was like, all right, look, we need to have real talk right now. Like this shit way, this new way that you're teaching, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm not, and at my age, I'm not taking the time to learn it.
Right.
No.
So I will teach them how to do things the way that I know how to do it. And they were like, dude, this year we really don't give a shit this year. Like maybe next year we'll worry, but like this year, nah. As long as they're getting to the answer and we can see that they got to the answer,
and how they got there, right? Right.
And again, I think that's part of the thing is, you have to be flexible. Like you have to be nimble. You have to, I had a conversation with, my daughter. She's 13, and she was one of those kids, she's one of those kids that's like really excited about getting back into school to see her friend, like she, see her friends and all that kind of stuff. And I said, okay. I'm like, Sam, you've heard me talk about this before, that, life really comes down to choices a lot. And this is one of those times, like, I think you've heard me talk about how Fred, the guy on our show, has said, well, if you want to have like GM and Ford open making cars, well, then you can't have sports stadiums packed. Like you have to make choices.
Yeah.
And I said, so because what they did is they gave so they're planning on still opening up schools on Wednesday, but they basically shot out a note and said, hey, but if you want to keep your kids home for the next 8 days while things are still getting figured out, no big deal. Cool. And I said, so what you need to figure out, and I'm like, and I'm genuinely asking for your input, like, to you, is going back to school for those 8 days worth balanced out against, what? Your grandmother just got out of surgery not too long ago. She's not doing all that great with recovery. So are those 8 days worth of school worth not seeing her at Christmas? Because that's probably the trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's point was, I'm not going to see anybody this year because it might mean that I don't get to see anybody else ever again. Like, I'm willing to give up a year or even 2 of my life of not seeing the people that I love and not hugging them and not being around them so that I can be here for the future ones.
Well, and that was, I think
look
that
at
was
it like that.
That was the crux of Whitmer today. I mean, that's
Right.
basically a lot of what she was saying today was, guys, look, I get it. It sucks, but if we do this now, yeah, it's, it's short-term pain, long-term gain. Yeah, okay. Do you want to just have this continue ad infinitum, or do you want to get through this shit and then next year can be normal, hopefully?
It's almost like it's going to. It's time for a shot, guys. I think we all need to raise a glass
to
the healthcare workers,
dude,
that are on the front lines.
Well,
to the bartenders and bar servers and owners that are not going to have a good Christmas, I salute you as well. And
and all the teachers that are getting roped back into dealing with kids face to face again.
Yep.
To anybody who's putting their life on the line.
Exactly. And that's okay. So that's the other thing too, is I was going to say, like, my parents are very, 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 like, we do Thanksgiving and Christmas every year at their house. We do like a kind of like a family reunion every year on Christmas Eve. It's the only day of the year that I see a lot of my family, unless we have like a wedding in the family or something like that. And we're not doing any of that. I didn't go to my dad's house for Thanksgiving. I have 0 plans to go to my dad's house for Christmas. For my birthday, I saw him a week later and I had to meet him outside and, wave, and they put my gift down and I picked it up, and you know what I mean? Like,
the last time I saw my mom was last Christmas,
Right.
I haven't seen her in a year now.
Did you see SNL this week by any chance?
No.
Dude.
No, it pulled up on my Hulu today. I should have watched it.
So the cold open is absolutely phenomenal. The Eminem spoof is ridiculously amazing.
I did see that.
Especially since he shows up in it.
Oh my God, yes.
But there was one of the skits they did was making the call with your parents, and it was like people our age or like younger or whatever, that were like FaceTiming or Zooming or whatever with their parents, basically saying, hey, I'm not coming home for Christmas. And like the moms laying enormous guilt trips on them, and going to, oh, well, if I guess you don't love us anymore, here's your christening gown. I guess I'll just go ahead and light that on fire. Here's since nothing matters to you anymore. It's so good.
Perfect. That's hilarious. I have to watch that now.
That's so good.
It literally pulled up today on my Hulu. It was like, watch SNL. And I was like, oh yeah, I need to like watch that, and put it off so long. And now here I am. Could have watched it.
Coulda, shoulda.
Well, and the cold open was it's all about Michigan. It's all about like, Giuliani and the crazy ass witnesses that he brought here. So it's so good.
We're talking about the drunk on Franzia girl.
Dude. Who apparently has a record. I don't know if you caught that story. So apparently she was sending videos of her and some guy having sex to the guy's ex-girlfriend. And apparently deliberately
she's one of those
over the edge.
One of those catty bitches.
She's that kind of crazy.
She's that kind of crazy.
Legitimately crazy.
Yeah, like not like fun for a weekend in a hotel crazy.
And that's their star witness.
Yeah.
I look at it at this point as like they're just trying to keep a sideshow going for whatever reason. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't even matter.
I volunteered to work election day. I totally did work election day along with my cousin with me, and no one asked me for any kind of like background check or like, you know what I mean? So they're like, here's our star witness, and they're like, you're literally the US government. You can't fucking like do a background check.
Like ask a couple questions. Well, I mean, if they're not even doing it for cabinet positions, why would they do it for,
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
It would be funny, except for it's the people who've been in charge for the last couple of years, and it's kind of scary. It's like it's not a joke anymore, guys. Like, it's not funny. Fucking just get the hell out. You're like those family members that come over and stay for a while, and then they stay for a little while longer, and then a little while longer. And you're
Oh
like,
my
are
God,
these
I think it sounds
motherfuckers ever gonna leave? They're like, they're family. I can't kick them out. Well, yes, kind of like that. I don't know, man. I wish I had answers to all this shit. I don't, but we get together every week and we drink and we laugh about it. Hopefully we gave everybody some laughs tonight and spark some creative ideas in them, and hopefully we get some business for you. Like, I want to see you sell some of this porn that you've got.
I know.
Dangling on the trees. The Christmas danglers?
Is
that what you call it? The Christmas danglers? A well-hung
Christmas
tree?
danglers. Oh yeah, here comes Santa Claus.
Here comes Santa Claus. I mean,
it's definitely, they're not very expensive. They kind of range in price. So message me, let me know if you want some, if you want pictures or videos, I can send them. Not just you, but anyone listening, you can message us on the Tales from the Barside Facebook. I get those messages.
Absolutely. We'll answer those.
Remy sees it first, he'll send it to me. It's no biggie. You can send it there.
Totally.
Or if you're friends with me on actual Facebook, which I welcome you guys to be friends with me on real Facebook. For real. Then, message me there too. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Don't be a frozen stiff like my buddy Jack here. All right.
Exactly.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't have a website yet. It's really hard. It's hard to make a website for porn.
Honestly, I was thinking of doing an Etsy for like photography instead of a website. Like Etsy seems like the way to go.
To go do Etsy, and it was like, make sure you cover all the naughty bits, and I was like, it's all naughty bits.
Right.
I don't know how to.
You got to make tiny little mini tassels and like little. You know what you should do is order like a bunch of like little fish stickers, and then put fish on their little lady bits, and then put tassels on their nipples. That would make it even funny. But like stickers, once you get it, you can peel it off.
Take them off.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. They are lacquered over and everything, so that's.
I don't know, who else should we do a shot for? I feel like doing another shot. We got to do a shot for. Listen, all you single mom bartenders out there, I feel your pain. Like this is breaking my goddamn heart that you're not allowed to be open. It is. Exactly. It's breaking my goddamn heart that you're not allowed to be open and that they're not taking care of you. I know you want to be open. I know you want to work. I'd come and see you if you were open, but cheers.
Cheers to you guys. Cheers to everybody struggling and to the people that aren't. Anybody that wears the mask, I don't care if you're struggling or not. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you. Wear your goddamn mask. Hey, that $50 Devo face shield is looking kind of like a steal right now, Dave.
I mean, it's not terrible, but I
really kind of want one, man.
I still can't figure out how to keep my glasses from fogging up as it is, so I can't even imagine dealing with a mask.
Yeah.
Like a big shield.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm about to go that route though. I think I'm about to get the face shield because I wear a mask all the time when I'm in public, but I don't think it's enough. I think a mask and a face shield at the same time. I think
that's what I'm gonna do too.
See, if I go that route, dude, screw it. I'm just I'll just get a hazmat suit. Like I will find one somewhere. Like
did you see the one that like rests on your shoulder and looks all like action and comfy and shit and like it's got the face shield, like super expensive. Well, I mean,
4 or 5 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, there was a company out there basically marketing what looked like, like 2001: A Space Odyssey astronaut suits, but like
I think that we're talking about the same thing. A little
bit more body fitted that they were billing as, well, this is what you're going to need to go to concerts coming up. And like, what?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in a mosh pit with one of those things on there?
Could you imagine as a girl getting your ass grabbed by some fucking drunk douchebag?
You wouldn't even notice it.
You can't even feel it.
I was like, yeah, you wouldn't even notice it. It'd be phenomenal.
Perfect.
Oh man. Well, I think we should end on a high note tonight. Like,
agreed.
It's been a bit of a downer. It's been a bit of a bummer. Just know that we're all with you guys out there. We fucking love you, and I hope you come back next week.
Yeah, come back next week. Bye.